Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about this white woman that did a video over on TikTok saying she is transracial. She's transracial. She's a white woman and she is a transracial black woman. And she claims she's transing over to being an Asian woman. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, is this really a thing? How can I be outwardly appearing a melanated woman, but I'm walking around telling you I'm a white woman? How does that work? I don't think it does. I don't. You'll have to judge for yourself when you listen to this woman, and people do respond to her. They do, and I even got Rachel Dolezal in here as well. So you're going to see all of that. Just before I came on here, there is a video of Donald Trump saying he don't care if everybody's got to pay higher gas prices. He don't care. He don't see that as a problem. I mean, it is this administration is unbelievable, but it is what it is. Maybe we'll talk about that a little later as well. So, Deborah Mullins, thank you for the 440 jewels and your support from my channel. Uncle Alert, thank you so much. Oh boy, let's get started, y'all. It certainly won't disappoint. Okay, y'all, give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Some Black people were white people first. And honestly, I think it began with identifying as non binary. But why stop at gender? As we all know, there are infinite genders. Some people are both genders, some people are neither gender. At first, I thought, okay, I don't have a gender. And then I realized, wait, what other binaries has society assigned to me? That's when I realized that at the deepest level, I.
Now, did you hear what she started out saying? She said some black people were white people first. Hell to the nah. Okay, no, we were never white people first. But I'm gonna roll it back so you can, if you missed it, I'm gonna roll it back so you can hear this.
Some Black people were white people first. And honestly, I think it began with identifying as non-binary. But why stop at gender? As we all know, there are infinite genders. Some people are both genders. Some people are neither gender. At first, I thought, okay, I don't have a gender. And then I realized, wait, what other binaries has society assigned to me? That's when I realized that at the deepest level, I am a Black woman who is transitioning into an Asian woman. There is currently a transracial genocide happening in America, especially under this administration. It is so important to stand up for transracial rights. Some other people that have really inspired me to be more outspoken about this is Ariana Grande. I think by showing her own trans Blackness, it really helped me accept my inner Blackness. My identity does not require your comprehension, but it does require your respect. Transracial women have already been through so much. We endure race dysphoria and discrimination. So please approach this with compassion. And if you are transracial yourself, please remember you are loved, you are valid, and you do belong. And you are whatever race you know yourself to be inside. Adios and namaste. Transracial Black women like myself have a more beautiful understanding of Blackness than cisracial Black women. And that's what I want to talk about today, especially because of all the propaganda nowadays telling Black women to hate themselves. Someone that chooses to present as a Black woman every single day, that's incredibly beautiful. One of the most common questions I've been asked is, are you planning on getting any medical procedures to help affirm your transracial identity, like melanin replacement therapy, things like that? And the answer is no. Trans Black women are Black women, regardless of what our bodies look like. I don't need to change my skin color or my hair or my makeup or any other physical characteristics to prove to you that I am Black. Saying that I need to pass as Black is actually trans race phobia. It is TERF rhetoric, transracial exclusionary feminism. Transracial Black women like myself have a more beautiful understanding of Blackness than cisracial Black women. And that's what I want to talk about today, especially because of all the propaganda nowadays telling Black women to hate themselves. Someone that chooses to present as a Black woman every single day, that's incredibly beautiful. One of the most common questions I've been asked is, are you planning on getting any medical procedures to help affirm your transracial identity, like melanin replacement therapy, things like that? And the answer is no. Trans Black women are Black women, regardless of what our bodies look like. I don't need to change my skin color or my hair or my makeup or any other physical characteristics to prove to you that I am Black. Saying that I need to pass as Black is actually trans race phobia. It is TERF rhetoric, transracial exclusionary feminism. 1 second. Oh, and by the way, pre-Palestine, my Starbucks identifies as Dunkin'. Inshallah, Shabbat Shalom, all that good stuff. So I do want to educate everyone on what it means to be a Black woman trapped inside a white woman's body, trapped inside an Asian woman's body, which is what I personally am, which means I am both trans Asian and trans Black. Transracial identities are valid. My pronouns, which are currently me, how, are valid. All identities are valid. So if you are here to actually listen and learn, you can stay. But do not call me white. I do not identify with my race assigned at birth.
And you better validate everything she says and everything she feels. Otherwise, you're a bigot. And you don't want to be a bigot, do you? You want to be morally clean, morally superior. You want to be a good person. Like she said, all identities are valid. So if she wants to be a trans Black woman, she is now that. And you better acknowledge her as such. Don't try to pull the wall. We're not talking about that. No. Respect her. Respect what she wants to be called and respect her wishes. I mean, if a man with male reproductive parts can just up and decide he's a woman, why can't this white woman up and decide she is now a transgender Black woman? The logic maps cleanly onto both. So rather than trying to say something bigoted, like she's just doing this for attention or she's just taking a piss out of people, no, you need to not be a bigot and you need to validate her existence as a trans Black woman. You people are so full of hate, so much hate speech going on. Of course, we're going to validate her existence because we're morally superior and we're better than you. You bigot. She identifies as ni hao. You better respect that too. Love to see Black trans women doing their thing out in society and thriving. Absolutely love it. Guys, I have a free email newsletter where I talk about trans Black women like this. If you want to get educated on that and stay up to date with the news and what's going on, the link to that is in my profile. Ah, I'm so touched. I'm so virtuous. Look at me. I'm so virtuous. Anyway, be virtuous with me and sign up for that newsletter.
This woman is saying that people need to accept the fact that she is a trans Black woman and she's not getting the operation to change the color of her skin to be accepted by anyone. She also says that transracial Black women, like herself, has a more beautiful understanding about Blackness than cisracial Black women. Her words, not mine. Let me know how you feel about this. Here's the video.
Transracial Black women like myself have a more beautiful understanding of Blackness than cisracial Black women. And that's what I want to talk about today, especially because of all the propaganda nowadays telling Black women to hate themselves. Someone that chooses to present as a Black woman every single day, that's incredibly beautiful. One of the most common questions I've been asked is, are you planning on getting any medical procedures to help affirm your transracial identity, like melanin replacement therapy, things like that? And the answer is no. Trans Black women are Black women, regardless of what our bodies look like. I don't need to change my skin color or my hair or my makeup or any other physical characteristics to prove to you that I am Black. Saying that I need to pass as Black is actually trans race phobia. It is TERF rhetoric, transracial exclusionary feminism. 1 second. So I do want to educate everyone on what it means to be a Black woman trapped inside a white woman's body, trapped inside an Asian woman's body, which is what I personally am, which means I am both trans Asian and trans Black. Transracial identities are valid. My pronouns, which are currently me, how, are valid. All identities are valid. So if you are here to actually listen and learn, you can stay, but do not call me white.
We are all here to listen and learn. Let me know what you think. I'm out.
Transracial Black women like myself have a more beautiful understanding of Blackness than cisracial Black.
I just came across what I would deem the chef's kiss of this open door policy that you guys have adopted and accepted. And I think you're not far behind in telling us, people with sense, right? Or the sensible people. You're not far by telling us that we are discriminating against pedophiles. You're not far, because like it's already started. This discriminating against pedophiles, like how dare you? Yeah, that's already started because you guys told us that we were transphobic for not wanting to sleep with not wanting to sleep with a woman that thinks she's a man. You told us that we were transphobic because we didn't want to sleep with men that think they're women. You told us that we're homophobic because we didn't want to sleep with men that sleep with men or women that sleep with women. You told us we're all the phobics. Now, are you this is especially for the so-called pro-Black people, the ones that are supporting the other stuff, right? This is especially for you. Are you now going to tell this white woman, visibly white, sitting comfortably in white supremacy, sitting comfortably in white privilege, are you going to tell her she's not Black? Because that would be you being what? Transracial phobia, whatever. She said all the cis Black women. This is the best. Just watch it.
Transracial Black women like myself have a more beautiful understanding of Blackness than cisracial Black women. And that's what I want to talk about today, especially body trapped inside. So if you are here to actually listen and learn, you can stay. But do not call me white. I do not identify with my race assigned at birth. Transracial Black women like myself have a more beautiful understanding of Blackness than cisracial Black women.
If you're a Black person and you like that post, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because first of all, being transracial is not a thing. Some of you are thinking, oh, well, if transgender is a thing, that would mean transracial is a thing. And I had the same thought when I was 11. Okay, so it's okay. Let me explain real quick. First of all, race and gender, two completely different things. I'll spin back on that later. One, I need you to understand gender dysphoria is an actual thing. It's clinically proven to have a consistent diagnostic pattern, meaning the distress that the condition causes and the symptoms that lead to a diagnosis are consistent. In many cases, medical intervention, meaning surgeries, hormone therapy, has led to an alleviating of some of this distress. And there are some less developed studies that show literal neurological differences. Let's think about transracial, okay? There's no clinical diagnostic precedent for it. There's no pattern of distress due to people feeling incongruent with their race. Why is that? Sex has measurable biological characteristics that your gender identity has the ability to feel incongruent with. Race, on the other hand, believe it or not, is not an actual biological category. It's a social construct. Now, I know some of you transphobes are getting excited. Oh, well, if it's a social construct, that means slow your roll. Social constructs are based upon things, right? What's race based on? History, heritage, ancestry. And I know what you're thinking. Well, isn't gender a social construct based on sex? Now, what's the difference between sex and history, ancestry, etc.? There's no biological basis for an internal identity that could be incongruent with somebody's race. Race is not based on hormones or chromosomes or anything like that. You may think like, oh, well, what about skin color, BRS? Skin color is continuous, not categorical, meaning there's not a singular point where one race's skin color stops and another race's begins. Meaning, believe it or not, you can't actually reliably use that to indicate someone's race. Again, there's no consistent precedent of a white person being like, you know what, I feel like my ancestors are from Nigeria. I feel great distress by the fact that they aren't in that. Even if a person did feel that way, nobody does. Even if they did feel that way, medical intervention can affect your heritage. Because again, this is history, this is ancestry. For transracialness to truly be affirmed, it would have to affect your entire genealogy. It's not the same as being transgender because you don't inherit your gender. There is no hormone that someone can give you to in any way alter your heritage. Again, like let's recap with the class. Why isn't transracial a thing? There is no clinical basis for it whatsoever, meaning people are not diagnosed with being transracial. There's no clinical pattern of someone being distressed by their race, feeling like it's not their race. There's no evidence of anyone getting any sort of racial affirming care and starting to feel better. There are no biological internal components for you to even feel incongruent with. Race and gender are just two completely different things. But you knew that already because the only time people ever bring up transracialness is to make a joke like this. Literally like Enes Kanter and Royce Wright with the WNBA right now. They're just saying it to prove a point. People who aren't very smart are going to pretend that this proves some sort of point, but it doesn't because this isn't a thing that's happening.
This next video comes from the straight out of the You Learn Something New Every Day files. And why do I say that? Because a woman posted a video to social media claiming that everyone needs to accept the fact that she is a trans Black woman. And she also claims that she's not going to have any types of procedures to change the color of her skin anytime soon. So have a listen to her video for yourself.
Transracial Black women like myself have a more beautiful understanding of Blackness than cisracial Black women. And that's what I want to talk about today, especially because of all the propaganda nowadays telling Black women to hate themselves. Someone that chooses to present as a Black woman every single day, that's incredibly beautiful. One of the most common questions I've been asked is, are you planning on getting any medical procedures to help affirm your transracial identity, like melanin replacement therapy, things like that? And the answer is no. Trans Black women are Black women, regardless of what our bodies look like. I don't need to change my skin color or my hair or my makeup or any other physical characteristics to prove to you that I am Black. Saying that I need to pass as Black is actually trans race phobia. It is TERF rhetoric, transracial exclusionary feminism. 1 second. Oh, and by the way, free Palestine. My Starbucks identifies as Duncan. Inshallah. Shabbat Shalom. All that good stuff. So I do want to educate everyone on what it means to be a Black woman trapped inside a white woman's body, trapped inside an Asian woman's body, which is what I personally am, which means I am both trans Asian and trans Black. Transracial identities are valid. My pronouns, which are currently ni hao, are valid. All identities are valid. So if you are here to actually listen and learn, you can stay. But do not call me white.
So now you've listened, as she said, and did you learn anything? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Lady, what the fuck are you talking about?
Transracial Black women like myself have a more beautiful understanding of Blackness than cisracial Black women. And that's
Bitch, what? Transracial Black woman? The fuck is even that? Man, at this point, I feel like y'all just pulling words from a hat to see what y'all want to be called nowadays. Hell no. If Cindy Lou, whoever want to be a transracial black woman, shit, I want to be a cockatoo wolf baboon. Hell no. If she a transracial black woman, shit, I'm a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. Let me guess. You got a crush on Dave Sean down at your job, don't you? Nah, hell, just because your baby daddy got drunk off Hennessy and forgot to come see his kids, do not make you transracially black. Hell no, let me leave white Keisha the fuck alone before she stop being black for 5 seconds and come over here after my ass. Nah, cause she come after me while she black, the police ain't gonna do nothing. But if she come after me while she white, my ass is going to jail.
I have different types of fans. Also some like it, you're strong because you're showy. Black is beautiful. And how to be strong as a black person. I'm dreaming of changing my life. And
but I gotta interrupt. That kind of bothers me a little bit to say that people come to you and they say they see you as a strong black woman, but I don't feel like you represent what
being a real
strong black person is. Like, I want to be super honest with you, because I mean, to be a strong black woman in my eyes is like my grandmother or my mother. Like, my mother is not from America, so she came over here from Trinidad. That's a third world country, so she had to not only come from a different place that she didn't really have anything, but also come to America with the stereotypes and the things, the struggles that black people go through, and she had to do a lot of shit on her own. And that to me is what represents a strong black woman. I don't see how you're a strong black woman because you were born white. I mean, you can't change that.
Stick around. Wish I was the type of girl that you take over to mama. Type of girl I know you fellas and be proud of.
Take a little bit of edge control, dab it on the base, right? And then you're just gonna twist. See how that tightened right up? And then you can put that back into your ponytail or whatever you have going on. So you can twist those roots to retighten them. That's going to get it plenty tight, and you can kind of gauge what tightness you want. If you want to kind of tighten those braids at the root.
So the answer to this question is no. I do not think transgender and transracial are the same thing, because they're very different categories, for one. And for two, our society today allows for gender fluidity and does not acknowledge, to the extent that it acknowledges that gender is a social construct, doesn't acknowledge that about race. It doesn't acknowledge that race is a social construct. We say it in words, but we don't say it in actions. And so to me, I don't believe in the race worldview. I believe it's a fiction. It's science fiction. It's not science fact. The human race doesn't meet the requirements for separate races on a zoological basis. So we are genetically the same race, which is called human. So there's no such thing as transracial in a sense of somehow migrating from one race to another race and taking on an identity that is indicative of transferring over, or trans being a cross in between something. However, culturally, there are people who migrate culturally from being raised in one culture and finding a home in another culture. So when Melissa Harris Perry said, well, she could be considered trans black, she wasn't saying racial. She was saying cultural, meaning trans black would indicate a journey that started in another culture, white, for example, and migrated to a home in blackness, black culture, black values. So I could be okay with trans black, but transracial doesn't make sense. There's only one race. So how can you make a journey across in between something that is the same thing? Doesn't make any sense. But that's my view. And a lot of people think that they have like this big magic answer, like da-da-da, like I just thought of it. If men can be women, you can be black. What? That is not the same thing. And just don't, because it just pisses everybody off who is on a journey on the gender spectrum. And it also doesn't help anything with regard to shining a light on the fact that race as a worldview is made up. It doesn't really reinforce that truth either. So it's kind of like just a unhelpful term, in my opinion. However, it's not up to me what society wants to decide. Y'all are going to do what y'all want to do. That's for sure. But I get to do what I'm going to do with me. And, individuals can resist social constructs that they don't believe in, but they also have to deal with the consequences and live in a society that is going to see them as different for doing that, or possibly wrong for doing that, or possibly deceptive, or a whole bunch of negative connotations for that. So transracial is not the same as transgender. So stop saying that, please. But yes, in terms of a category of identity that is a social construct, if we decide that gender is a social construct and we then enact that with gender fluidity, and we decide race is a social construct and then allow that to be enacted with fluidity, then, maybe someday it will be a thing that has meaning, a word that has meaning. But when people say, I am the first transracial person and I'm the transracial pioneer, and then of course, conveniently, my name was Rachel, so Transracial, the Rachel divide, that film, I don't know. Y'all crack me up sometimes because it's just like, really? But whatever entertains people, right? That's the name of the game. Whatever can make the money and keep people entertained. So that's what people show up for, more than for some type of serious, thoughtful, nuanced, complex truth, right? It's just not entertaining. So.
You ever notice that many of these pale people, when they try to do their best to cross over and act like us or be like us or sound like us, you ever notice how they're a little weird? Is it me, or do you notice this too? Some of them are just strange, weird. So anyway, y'all, I thought this was kind of funny. That's why I wanted to present it. But y'all, there is no such thing as no transracial. I mean, and some of our people were poking fun at it. A couple of women were like, I'm a trans white man. And I was like, no, you are very much a melanated woman. But yeah, some people were cracking jokes at it. But yeah, there were a lot of reactions to this white chick's video. It really was. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. My next video is on Indiana, the entire state being under an emergency because one of the main rivers that run through the state has overflowed due to heavy rain, and it has virtually flooded the majority of the state. So that's why the whole state is under a state of emergency. They said the last time this happened was 113 years ago. So we'll be looking at that at 3:45. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you then. And don't forget to pick up your hair products. Somebody was asking me about the goat milk shampoo. That will be on sale this coming week. And I will post everything in the community tab. My skin store is being completely redone. So over the next several weeks, you're going to see new products. I'm going to have retinol. I'm going to have, goat milk lotion, body wash, all of that it's going to be a variety of different things. So it's all being redone. All the products you see there won't be there anymore because everything from top to bottom is being redone on that site. So y'all have a wonderful afternoon, and shalom, family.